Burt Reynolds was born on February 11, 1936, in Lansing, Michigan, the son of Harriet Furnett and Burton Milo Reynolds, a police chief. His early years were spent in Riviera Beach, Florida, where he developed a love for sports, particularly football. Attending Florida State University on a football scholarship, Burt showed promise as a halfback. But a knee injury ended his football career, forcing him to reconsider his future. After a few aimless years, he found a new direction when a teacher encouraged him to pursue acting. That advice led him to stage acting and, eventually, a career in film and television. Although his early roles were small and struggled to stand out, Reynolds' rugged charm and deep voice caught the attention of Hollywood, paving the way for a breakout in the 1970s. Struggles in early Hollywood and breakthrough. Burt Reynolds' path to stardom was far from easy. He spent the late 1950s taking on minor television roles in shows like Gunsmoke and Riverboat, where his rugged good looks and deep voice made him a natural fit for westerns. However, Hollywood had difficulty seeing him as more than just a handsome face. It wasn't until the early 1970s, with roles in films like Deliverance, 1972, that Reynolds was able to show his true potential. His performance in Deliverance, where he played a man forced into a dangerous and life-threatening situation, established him as a serious actor capable of far more than just charm. The success of this film helped elevate Reynolds' career, and soon he was a rising star in Hollywood. Rise to fame and the 1970s success. The 1970s proved to be the peak of Burt Reynolds' stardom. With hits like Smokey and the Bandit, 1977, The Longest Yard, 1974, and Hooper, 1978, Reynolds became the quintessential American movie star, known for his rebellious attitude, rugged masculinity, and magnetic screen presence. His trademark mustache, confident swagger, and devilish grin made him an iconic figure in Hollywood, loved by fans and critics alike. Reynolds had the rare ability to switch between comedy and action, drawing crowds with his charm and charisma. He was more than just a tough guy. He had the ability to make audiences laugh, cry, and root for him. This combination of qualities made Reynolds one of the most beloved actors of the decade, solidifying his place as a Hollywood legend. Dramatic depth and career comeback. Though Reynolds was primarily known for his roles in action and comedy films, he also demonstrated significant dramatic range. His performance in Deliverance remains one of the most respected of his career, showcasing his ability to tackle intense and emotionally complex material. In 1997, Reynolds made a career comeback with his role in Boogie Nights, where he portrayed Jack Horner, a flawed and affectionate adult film director. This performance earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor, marking a new chapter in his career. While the 1980s and 1990s were filled with financial struggles and career setbacks, Reynolds' ability to reinvent himself demonstrated his enduring talent and resilience as an actor, earning him respect in both mainstream and independent cinema. Personal life and marriages. Burt Reynolds' personal life, much like his career, was filled with ups and downs. He was married twice, each union reflecting different stages of his life. His first marriage, to actress Judy Carn in 1963, was short-lived, lasting only 2 years. The pressures of their respective careers and clashing personalities led to the dissolution of the marriage in 1965. Reynolds later reflected on this marriage, admitting that he had not yet matured enough to handle a lifelong commitment. His second marriage to television star Lonnie Anderson in 1988 seemed like a glamorous Hollywood love story. At the height of his fame and her popularity from WKRP in Cincinnati, their wedding was highly publicized. However, their relationship quickly became strained, and the marriage ended in a bitter and public divorce in 1994. The friendship and rivalry between the two stars. As Reynolds reflected on his relationship with Clint Walker, he spoke not just as an actor, but as someone who respected Walker as a person. Clint wasn't just muscle and charm. He was one of the kindest men I ever met in this business, Reynolds shared. The two actors, although very different in style, shared a quiet independence that set them apart from other Hollywood stars. Reynolds appreciated that Walker stayed true to himself and never succumbed to the pressures of the industry. The two men, despite their differences in career paths, shared a mutual respect that Reynolds cherished. "We both had that stubborn streak. We didn't like being told what to do," Reynolds reflected, acknowledging their shared sense of rebellion in a business that often demanded conformity. Burt Reynolds reflects on Clint Walker's legacy. In his final reflections, Reynolds spoke about Clint Walker not just as a colleague, but as a man who represented something rare in Hollywood. Clint represented a kind of masculinity that's missing today, Reynolds said. He didn't need scandals or headlines. He let his work and his character speak for him. Reynolds acknowledged that Walker's presence in Hollywood was unlike any other, and that many actors, including himself, looked up to him. The final tribute to Clint Walker was simple but heartfelt. Clint Walker was one of a kind. The screen lost a real cowboy when he left us, and the world lost a good man. I was proud to know him, even just a little, Reynolds said. This final reflection captured the deep admiration and respect Reynolds had for his fellow actor, who had influenced both his career and his life. Burt Reynolds' passing and legacy. Burt Reynolds passed away on September 6, 2018, at the age of 82, from a heart attack. His death marked the end of an era in Hollywood, as he had defined an entire generation of American masculinity. In the weeks leading up to his death, Reynolds had struggled with various health issues, including heart problems that required him to undergo bypass surgery in 2010. Despite his declining health, Reynolds remained optimistic and continued to express his love for acting. His passing came as a shock to fans around the world, who had grown up watching his films like Smokey and the Bandit, Deliverance, and Boogie Nights. Reynolds' funeral, held privately at his request, was a reflection of his desire for privacy and serenity in his later years. A private farewell and final tributes. The private memorial service for Burt Reynolds took place on September 20th, 2018 in North Palm Beach, Florida. Despite the turbulence of his personal life, Reynolds' family, including his ex-wife Lonnie Anderson and their son Quentin Reynolds, came together to honor his memory. Anderson, who had been deeply emotional during the service, put aside the past and ensured that the farewell was a heartfelt and intimate one, reflecting the man Reynolds had been. Those in attendance remembered Reynolds not just for his Hollywood fame, but for his warmth, kindness, and genuine affection for those close to him. Quentin spoke tenderly of his father, highlighting his humble nature and devotion to family. Reynolds' death may have closed a chapter in Hollywood, but his legacy as one of the most beloved actors of his generation continues to endure.